or you'll live your fears. And so I encourage you to live your faith. Step out on faith. Don't let your fears rule your life. Start having those defining moments. This is the defining moment for me. This is a picture that was taken in 1995 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania at the National Speakers Association Convention in Philadelphia. Here's some of my speaker buddies from NSA. I was struggling to figure out how I was going to make it through this moment. One of my friends blessed me. He gave me two things. He gave me a cassette tape, the first motivational tape I'd ever heard, and he gave me a book. The motivational tape was a tape called The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale. And the book was a book by Napoleon Hill called Think and Grow Rich. Those two things changed my life. I listened to that tape over and over and over again. Every day I'd listen to that tape. I read that book and I'd make little markings in it. My thinking started changing. Transform your thinking, transform your thinking. Things started changing. I took that job with the school system and I started working. I talked to little kids all over Washington, D.C. and Virginia and Maryland, and then regionally and then nationally. And from the little kids, I started talking to the bigger kids. And then I started having speeches to the educators and the groups that were education associations. And things started happening. And then things started growing. And then one day, I was speaking in a little teeny weeny hotel room. Only about 12 people in the room, but the doorway was open. And down the hallway in the big ballroom, they're gonna have a motivational rally. And while I'm speaking to these 12 people, the doorway's open, and one of the speakers from that night's rally walked by. And he heard my message. His name was Les Brown. And he stood outside, listened to my message, and said, "Young man, you got quite a talent." He said, "I'm putting together a tour. You'd be the perfect opening act. Are you interested?" I said, "I think so." And a few months later, we kicked off the Les Brown Dream Team Tour, which featured Les Brown, Billy Preston, Gladys Knight, and a little guy from Washington, D.C., me. Because of Les and Gladys, they introduced me to some radio people. And I got a little radio show, and a radio show got popular and got syndicated, and then it went from local radio around the country to different stations to national radio on Sirius XM. And I'm very honored and proud to say today I have the #1 motivational show in America on Sirius XM radio. Amen. Now, I told y'all I'm transparent. I tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Now, for 9 seasons, I was on XM. I was #2, a distant #2 behind a lady named Oprah Winfrey with Oprah Radio. I wasn't even close. But last year, the beginning of last year, Oprah decided to shut down Oprah Radio to focus on Oprah Television. So IE is now #1. Mediocre people give mediocre service, and a negative person will kill your organization. So if you want to change your business, your church, your organization, go to that site, get that, and test drive it, and put your people through it. It will change your business. All right, we got to roll.
Ask you of all the millions of people that live in this area to show up to an event of this nature. People come out by the thousands for things that will entertain them and pay far much more. But when it comes to achievement, when it comes to changing your life, most people won't participate in that because most people accept life as it is. But there's something in you that says, I want more and I can create more. Give yourselves a round of applause. Come on, bring energy level up. So I want to walk you through a process and share with you some of the things that I have learned. And I want you to think about something that's important to you, some goal and dream that's important to you. I want you to think about it. My first major dream was, as I said, was to buy my mother a home. And I accomplished that goal, and I'm going to share with you the process. Right now, I want you to hold a vision of something that you want. How many of you have somebody that you'd like to do something special for? Raise your hands. Very good. I want you to think about that now. And I want you to see it accomplished in your mind's eye. See it. Next thing is, I want you to think about your financial freedom number. People say money won't make you happy. But everybody want to find out for themselves. A friend of mine named Rita Davenport said money ain't important, but it's right up there with oxygen. And let me tell you something, fellas, even if you're as humble as I am, if you got some money, women will find something cute on you. Oh, honey, he's got eyelashes like Denzel, honey. I used to be so broke, walk past a bank and trip the alarm. Call the house and my children would answer the phone and say, my daddy say, yay ho. This is one of my sons, Patrick Brown. Give him a round of applause. He's a coach and a speaker. So my dream was to take care of my mother, to buy her home, to buy what I consider most important thing that I could purchase, and that was my freedom. I wanted more time for myself, and I was willing to invest in myself to accomplish that goal. You are investing in yourself. Time-wise, that's an investment you can't take back. And money-wise, that's very important. So I want you to think about the major goal that you'd like to achieve with your life that caused you to be here. Think about your financial freedom number that once you achieve it, it will alleviate a lot of stress in your life. It will allow you to have more time for yourself and for your family. How many of you like to travel? Raise your hands, please. Very good. How many of you like to have more time for yourself, to be able to have experiences with your family? Very good. And so you'll be able to do that. I'm going to share things with you. Next thing is, think about your social contribution. I'm a 20-year cancer conqueror because of God's grace and mercy. And so my goal is to share with people strategies that I've used that have been very successful regardless of what type of illness. Years, because I didn't believe, because I don't have a college education, I didn't believe because I thought that competing with people with PhDs and MBAs and years of corporate experience, that I couldn't develop the credibility to be involved in this business. I doubted myself. I would go and see speakers, and how many like to help people? Raise your hands, please. And my heart would say, I can do that. But when I started going to my car, something happened. My mind became involved. I became logical and practical and realistic. And my mind said, Les Brown, you can't do that. You don't know who your parents are. You can't do that. You were labeled educable, mentally retarded, and put back from the 5th grade to the 4th grade. You can't do that. You don't have any. See, I didn't do what I'm doing now because I was suffering from possibility blindness. I doubted myself because I don't have a college education, and I still don't. And I've earned millions of dollars doing what I love to do, helping